Good evening, everyone. In this protest that is going on, today is the day 7. I really want to appreciate our northern brothers who are doing the necessary. How I wish the people from the southwest, south, and southeast to say if they are able to do the same thing the northerners are doing. No matter how the federal government try to label them, so many things that what they are doing is not good. But one thing is sure, these people know their right, and it is time to exercise it. It is very uncommon to see these people reacting the way they are reacting. It is because what has never happened is happening, and it is time for people to arise. Now, INEC received letter from the constituents to recall House of Representatives member. INEC received letter from constituents to recall House of Representative member. Now, when this protest started, a lot of people, they ran away and they have not returned back. Most of their houses, the lawmakers, protesters invaded their house. Some of their houses were burned to the ground, of which I do not support burning of houses. Now, what the constituents want to do, they want to show them that power belongs to the people. Even though you have manipulated your way to power, now the people have united. It is time for us to recall you people. It is time for you people to come back from that place you are embezzling our money and making sure that we are not going to prosper. Now, this article reads that the constituents of Kaura, Namoda, Birni, Margaji Federal Constituency of Zamfara State have notified the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, of their resolve to recall Honorable Aminu Sani Jaji from the House of Representatives. But by the way, what is INEC chairman still doing there, Yakubu Mahmoud? The failed INEC chairman, what is he doing there? Now, the constituents said their decision is on account of poor representation, pursuant to Section 69 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The record letter submitted by the constituents to the office of the chairman at the INEC headquarters in Abuja was duly acknowledged and stamped. You know what that means? That when someone is not representing you, someone is not, performing his or her duty, it is the duty of the people to recall him. That is to sack the person. Now, I know that a lot of people would say this thing is not going to make sense because we are in Nigeria, things don't work in Nigeria, and politicians always have their way. But it is politician who is on ground who have his way, not politician they have chased out of home. So I believe that this process of recording them is something that is still going to shake table. It's still going to shake them, shake them into doing what is normal. On the normal circumstances, our lawmakers are supposed not to have problem with us because their work is to checkmate the executive. Just imagine if the lawmakers we are having, if they are genuine and they are doing their work, everything going on today will not go on. Anything you talk, they will do it. What we are saying today will not see it. If the president did not want to do what they want them to, they should impeach the president. But you know what? We are in Nigeria now. Politicians always have their way in Nigeria. So I really want to commend the Zamfara residents or their citizens who take the courage to do that. If you can do that in your constituents, please do that. Start recording the people. Give them a letter of recall. If that doesn't affect them now, it will affect them in their next election. Let people know, see, the time has come for those people who are from the northern part of the country. Because as far as I'm concerned, people from the south, most of them, they are losing faith in the system already. Some of them don't even want to vote because of what they have experienced in the previous elections. But people in the northern part of the country, if election comes again, it's an advice to you. You people have the power to put who you want to be there. You people have the power to hold the INEC responsible. I trust what the northerners can do. But like people from the southeast, all they are calling is referendum. Anyway, people want to solve the problem in Nigeria, let them solve it. Any way you think that you can solve the problem, go ahead and solve it because the system is against the people. The presidency is against the people. Their policies are against the people. Everything they are doing is just against the people, and the people can't breathe. What is the essence of the government if the people cannot benefit? The insecurity is alarming. The hunger is alarming. The insecurity and hunger is now holistic. For a nation like Nigeria, even though we don't have crude oil, we are not supposed to be suffering. What we are asking is just enabling environment. You become an importer, they will sabotage your business. You become an exporter, they will sabotage your business. Then when they build refineries, they sabotage his business. So what do they want from us? What actually do they want from us? Now we said your politics are wrong. Let us go to the street and protest. They send their military against us. So what they want is another thing, not protest. Tinubu said he don't want protest. He want a revolution, right? No problem. Anything the government wants, they will surely see it.
These youths, these various groups that have been protesting, have given the signs within the course of the last 6 months that due to the state of the nation, we are in dire straits. There's hunger in the land, there's starvation, there are issues of misgovernance, bad governance, insecurity, and, you know, a plethora of issues that have been, you know, bicycled all over the media. I don't need to, you know, revisit them. But what is happening is that these hydra-headed monsters that we're talking about are largely responsible for the protests. One would have expected that the Nigerian state and the minders of the president and those in charge of the management of information would have read the signs and would have sat down in a situation room, a war situation room, sort of, a crisis situation room, to debate, to analyze, to make SWOT analysis of the areas of strengths, weaknesses, and what have you, and advise the president holistically, but advise him truly. It does appear from my little experience of the days that I was a reporter in Dorden Barracks to, you know, the time that I covered the presidency up to the presidential villa some, you know, a decade and a half ago. There are people in government that are afraid to look at their principal in the face and say, Mr. President, there is a problem with this and this and that. They are afraid that they might lose their jobs. And so you have a president that is almost literally cocooned within the presidential villa, not probably given the requisite information. Probably he does not have the, you know, the kind of knowledge that will make him, you know, come up with an informed decision. Or people are just applying a laissez-faire attitude and approach to issues that are critical to our national survival. And they don't seem to worry. When people, you know, told us about the credentials of the president coming on board as a candidate and now as a president, they paraded his credentials, you know, leading Lagos. But at the time he left Lagos, there was a 12-year interregnum between Fashola and Ambode, and another probably 4 years of Sanwo-Olu. So there appears to have been a situation where we have a president that does not have the sufficient knowledge of leading a nation at the national level and coming with the mindset of Lagos. And in Lagos, he was, you know, like you said, an imperial leader. But that is not to say, I know you inferred, but that is not to say that the president is not smart, right, or that he is not competent to lead Nigeria. Mm-hmm. No, it is, we are all in this together. Right now, as I speak to you, what I expected was to have seen the minders of the president, everybody, coming on board.
I'd like you to land on that. So sorry, I need to, you know, come in again.
Yes.
Can we really put all of the blame at the doorstep of the president? What about the governors who are closer to the people? And let's even narrow it down to how, you know, this protest went on in the North generally, you know, in spite of there's a Northeast Development Commission, there's a Northwest Development Commission that was just set up only recently.
Yes.
Does it say a lot about the level of discontent in the North? And can you put all the blame at the doorstep of the president?
No, not at all. The president said it himself that the buck stops at his desk.
Right.
All right. And Nigerians elected the president to perform, to deliver on good governance. And so the president cannot escape our scrutiny and criticism. When you look at the governors, the character, the behavior, the way they lead, mostly in the, I mean, you're talking about the northern governors, right? Mm-hmm. But governors generally, there is this display of extravagance, of, what do you call it, obscene opulence. Convoys that will drag 15 to 20 cars. And not only the governor's convoys, no, you have the convoys of their first ladies. And the governors are sitting on, it's like an empire. They call the shots. They do everything. And the Nigerian population, the Nigerian public, the peasants, the laymen that we think don't understand what is happening, they are, you can cut, there is palpable discontent and anger that you can literally cut through with knife. In the north, let me, if I take a minute to land. In the north, we have, you know, a biting state of insecurity. Sokoto, Zamfara, Kebbi, and Katsina are literally on a lockdown. There is hardly more than 15 to 25% of agricultural activities going on in those states. The lands, the territories have been taken over and overridden by bandits. So people are no longer on the farms. People are angry. They're not asking for you to build roads for them or create, you know, estates for them. They are only asking for a measure of security to be in place so that they can get back to their normal lives.
Do we understand the implication of what we're dealing with? Listening to you, one is tempted to ask the long-term implication of these protests, these hunger protests in the northeast and specifically in northern Nigeria. Do the people, the leadership of Nigeria, northern Nigeria, northeast, understand the dire situation which you just painted?
I think they are completely detached from the people. They are detached from the people in the sense that they would rather deal with courtiers. They would rather deal with people that will be the yes men, that will tell them what they want to hear instead of what obtains on ground. The governors would rather deal with their yes men, their surrogates, and, you know, their pretenders all over. How do you explain the level of poverty in the north? And you have governors. The president just said a couple of weeks ago, I mean a couple of days ago, through the Minister of Information, the amount of money that was released by the federal government to states. Until that information came out, some of us didn't even know. Let me draw a kind of, let me give you a narrative, something that happened with, you know, Dr. Reuben Abati, myself, and former President Goodluck Jonathan. When former President Muhammadu Buhari, while campaigning in Kaduna, and Shehu Dahiru Bauchi were, remember, there was an attempted assassination on them. And I was away, I was out of the country in Jeddah. And there was a phone call from the presidential villa. Hello, this is Reuben Abati. Hold on, Mr. President wants to speak to you. I was like, what? And President Goodluck Jonathan said, look, we have this problem in Kaduna, and you are supposed to be on ground in Kaduna. What are you going to do about it? And I told Mr. President through, you know, Dr. Reuben Abati that, look, we will get to work. We will come back and make sure we open up the communication for people to ventilate their anger and for them to, for government minders to speak to the people. And that was what we did. But right now, you have people who sit back, who are so comfortable in their zones and are so afraid to come out and speak to the president on behalf of the Nigerian state. That is their job.